G'day guys, ZiggyD here, and today I want to take you guys on a bounty run in the Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls beta. As you can see, I'm in the new adventure mode, which allows you to jump around between any of the acts, any of the waypoints, and a big part of this new adventure mode is hunting down these bounties. So if we come back here, you can see we have a list of bounties for Act 1 New Tristram. We have Kill Captain Cage, Kill the Skeleton King, Complete the Eternal War, and there's a number of different types of bounties. So we can see here we have completing an event like the Eternal War, we have killing off unique mobs like Captain Cage, and killing bosses as well. There's another type one here, like clear the underbridge up here, which is full clearing a zone essentially. Now I'm playing on my Demon Hunter here, and the Demon Hunter still suffers from some of the same issues of clear speed, farming efficiency, and a little bit squishy, especially now with the removal of Life Leech. Something we've had to adjust to is the lack of Life Leech. But Demon Hunter works really, really well as a bounty hunter, and I'm having probably the most fun I've ever had on the Demon Hunter, kitting her out for bounty hunting specifically. So a lot of other people have tried the Demon Hunter and tried to play it like a typical Diablo 3 vanilla farming spec, aren't really enjoying a lot of the new passives and skills and things like that. I think everyone likes the new Vengeance skill, but overall it doesn't seem like the Demon Hunter is a really good sort of farming character. But she really excels as a bounty hunter, and I'll talk a little bit about my spec after we do one run. So we'll do one run first, but we're going to full clear Act 1. Now the reason we want to full clear Act 1 is we get rewards for doing each bounty. We get a little Horadric Cache, which is full of goodies, and we get some golden XP and things like that. However, once we full clear all of the bounties in one act, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to do in here, we get an extra Greater Horadric Cache, which has got some extra loot in it, so pretty nice stuff. And basically this spec I'm running now is designed to really quickly get around each one of these bounties and clear them out. So let's do the Skeleton King first, because I really enjoy doing the boss runs especially. And this character kind of excels at burst damage and bursting down those bounties and moving around really quickly. You'll notice my, wow, when I'm not like lagging out like crazy, you'll notice that my run speed is pretty insane, and I can basically just skip over all this stuff, and once I destroy some pots and things like that, I actually run even faster. Now the reason for that is I'm using tactical advantage on my vault, and I also have a legendary item that gives me move speed when I destroy scenery. So you'll notice I'm running Trail of Cinders on my vault, and that's because I use that to destroy pots and things like that. So we get around very quickly, and I can skip over all of these pointless things, these pointless distractions from my bounty, and then we can go kill the Skeleton King. So it's kind of fun destroying scenery as well and running super fast. I get over 100% move speed when everything stacks up nicely. So let's activate the Skeleton King here. We'll position ourselves to get some grenading action happening, and then once he comes up, we'll burst him down, and I'll explain how this spec works a little bit soon. Now I'm playing in Torment 1 difficulty, which I've only just gotten the gear to go in, so things are still a little bit slow. It still takes a while to kill these guys, but I think I missed my Phantom Eyes. That's unfortunate. But you'll see me using the Vengeance rune. This stuns and does a ton of damage, and I use all of my other burst abilities as well to try and burst him down as quickly as possible. And this is actually pretty fast for me in Torment now. I just made a few little changes to the spec and to my gearing, and it sped things up nicely. But as I said, I've only just sort of made it into Torment, so my kill speed is still a little bit slow in here. And here he goes. It looks like we'll get the kill before Vengeance comes off cooldown again. That's actually not bad though, because we can use Vengeance for the very next bounty run. It'll be off cooldown by the time we finish. And there we go. We have our first bounty. I'll grab all of his stuff. You'll notice I also picked up whites. And that's because white items actually salvage up for a very useful crafting material, which is otherwise pretty tricky to get. So we do pick up whites in Reaper of Souls, believe it or not. And as you can see, we also got our Horadric Cache and we got some blood shards, which can be spent on gambling or also buying more Horadric Caches. And we got some golden XP, a good amount of golden XP, but maybe not as much XP as you might get from farming mobs in vanilla on your Whirlwind Barbarian, for example. But still pretty good in terms of Reaper of Souls, and a lot of fun doing it this way. So now we can actually jump straight into another bounty just by hitting the map here, and going straight to one of the waypoints. She'll actually teleport straight there. But first, let's talk a little bit about the spec. Now the first thing you'll notice is I'm running a few different types of grenades. I've got the grenades with the grenade cache, and I've got the grenader passive, which now increases damage and the explosion size of grenades. Now the fact that I'm increasing the explosion size explosion size on the grenade cache rune, which throws out 3 grenades, is that the explosions overlap, so often we'll be hitting them with 2 or 3 grenades instead of just the 1, so it stacks up really nicely and does, you know, well over 300% damage to mobs just from my main attack, and works out pretty well, surprisingly damaging for a primary attack. Next up, I use Cluster Arrow with Bombardment, which drops grenades down. Now, because the Grenader passive has been changed, you'll notice the grenades word there is not capitalized. It means it works with any type of grenade. So, Cluster Arrow rune with grenades, here we go, we've got Cluster Bombs, sorry, not Bombardment. Cluster Bombs benefits from that as well, so we get extra damage from that. Now I'm using Vault with Trail of Cinders and Tactical Advantage, as you can see, for that extra speed, and Trail of Cinders works with my braces here. Each time you destroy a wreckable object, you gain a short burst of speed to get me around really quickly. This builds about 2 things. It's about bursting down bounties, and it's about getting to them very quickly. Shadow Power with Blood Moon for extra life. Basically, life gain on hit's pretty important now. We don't have life steal, and I kind of feel like I have to run Blood Moon to be able to survive through certain sorts of damage. So it feels pretty mandatory at this point. I would like to run Gloom, but I don't have enough life per hit to run Gloom, unfortunately. I use Fan of Knives with Pinpoint Accuracy, which increases the cooldown, but also increases the damage. Since we're aiming for burst, I only use this occasionally to clear out. Sometimes I use it on scenery, but most of the time I'm using it on either my bounty or an elite pack that I want to burst down really quickly. So the extra damage is really nice, and it also synergizes with another passive in a moment that you'll see. Next up, finally, of course, Vengeance, and I use this with the From the Shadows rune. Originally I was using Personal Mortar because that launches grenades as well, and that benefits from the Grenader passive, but From the Shadows stuns everything, so it works really well to hold elites still, hold bounties still, and keep things from hurting me too much, so it works out really nicely. But if I ever get a bit tougher, then maybe I'll run Personal Mortar, we'll see, for a bit of extra damage. Personal Mortar is pretty fun, but this one works out really nicely. Now, overall, people who've been playing Demon Hunter in this expansion pack and been playing it as a kind of traditional farming build have not been very happy, especially with the new passives. However, as a bounty hunter spec, I'm very happy with the new passives. So the first one is Single Out. Gain 20% crit chance against anything that's basically by itself. So against bosses like this, I have extra 20% crit chance, and against bounties that are by themselves or rare mobs after I've killed their surrounding minions, they all take 20% increased crit chance. So pretty powerful. Pretty powerful against, it works really well with our spec, basically. Obviously pretty useless for normal farming, though, because mobs are always, you know, in high density areas surrounded by each other. Grenader, as mentioned before. Ambush, which deals 30% additional damage to enemies above 80% health. And this is why sometimes I'll one-shot blue packs or one-shot whites and do a lot of extra damage to bosses at the start. What I'll use is I'll use all my burst skills. I'll use Fan of Knives, I'll use Vengeance, and I'll use Cluster Arrow, all right at the start, and they all benefit from that 30% additional damage, especially if I fire them all off at once very quickly, and the bosses will drop down to 50% health pretty quickly. The last 50% sometimes takes a little while, but it's a nice burst sort of damage passive there, and as I said, helps with clearing out whites and elites and things like that, and obviously attack advantage for moving around quickly. So, I'll just show off some of the gear I'm actually using. Some of it's pretty interesting. I'm still using some stuff still from Diablo 3 Vanilla because I haven't found upgrades yet, like Witching Hour, Mempo, my Trifecta Ami and things like that. But as I said, the Haratonian Arm Guards for the burst of speed are really, really nice. I'm using Pender's Purchase because they're pretty nice gloves, but they also have Immobilize on hit, which helps a little bit. And Beckon Sail is fantastic. It's really nice. It's got pretty good stats on it. The companion damage is kind of useless for me. I can't change that because I've already enchanted Vitality on this, so unfortunately I'm stuck with the companion damage. Maybe I'll find a better one later. But automatically cast Smokescreen when I fall below 25% life. So something bursts me down, and being a Demon Hunter, sometimes I can kind of get one shot. This automatically procs and saves me. It also gives me a burst of speed. I can get away and allows me to pass through mobs. Fantastic proc on this legendary. It's really, really nice. And other than that, I've got the Avarice Band, which is really mainly just for the stats, but the proc on it's pretty interesting. Pickup radius when you pick up gold, but I don't really focus on that too much. But other than that, I've just got some toughness and things like that to make my life leech a bit better. I'm using the new diamonds for resist all, and that helps with making life leech more effective rather than stacking vitality. Because as you can see, 544k life without any vitality, and I've only got this 20% on the helmet, so it helps out, but mostly everything else is just spec'd for damage. Eventually I might spec to increase fire damage or increase the damage of my specific skills with some of the new affixes, and they're pretty nice. And in terms of Paragon, I've got, you know, just dex for damage, or crit hit chance, I've got all resist here, and utility, I've got some move speed, gold pickup, and a little bit of magic find, just for funsies. So let's jump straight into the next bounty. Let's go kill Captain Cage. Okay, so you'll notice we also have kill monsters in the Cathedral 050. When you have a bounty to kill a unique mob, you also have to kill a number of mobs in the zone. So to do this quickly, I'll just find nice easy packs to burst down like these ones, just throw a few grenades and that'll kill those guys off. Remember that they take a 30% extra damage from the first few attacks they take, so these sorts of grenade ones are very effective at just one-shotting everything. It works pretty well to get me my kills nice and quickly, and I can kind of just do this while running. And every now and then I'll destroy some scenery to improve my move speed. Here's another pack to do. I can use Fan of Knives as well to burst things down. And getting knocked around by those guys, man. But basically, to find our bounty, what we want to do is just run through the zone as quickly as possible. Burst down enough to get us to 50 by the time we've killed them. And then we want to, once we get close enough, we'll see on the minimap a little sort of flashing light. And that's where the bounty is. So we just want to kind of get close enough to find him. And this is a pretty nice pack of skellies here, so this will give us our 50 right away, so I can pretty much just skip everything else now. Occasionally I'll burst down easily elites or ones that are in the way, but for the most part we just want to stick to getting our bounties, because that's where we're getting most of our loot and XP and gold and everything from. And this fuels my expensive enchanting habits, so I need to keep those bounties going. But yeah, enchanting is a ton of fun. It's super addictive, and I came into this with 120 million. As you can see, I'm down to 50 million now, and that's pretty much just from enchanting. Each time you enchant an item as well, the cost increases as well, so it gets, the more and more you try and perfect your gear, the more and more expensive it becomes. So looks like he wasn't off in that direction, so I'll just keep going. There's lots of like walls and stuff in here to destroy. It's a really nice zone for this. And I wish I had Trail of Cinders up then. Here we go. He looks like he's appeared on the map, so we'll run through this way and we should be able to find him. Just destroy some scenery to give us a little boost of speed, and here he is. I could use Vengeance on this guy, but since he's just by himself, it's probably not worth it. Like, I'll kill this guy really quickly. Save Vengeance for an elite pack or something like that I'll run into in a moment. Eventually you could stack a lot of cooldown reduction and that would help this build, but since I find that, you know, it takes me about 90 seconds to find the next bounty anyway, unless I'm lucky. And so I don't find I need Vengeance much more than that. So I have that's one bounty down. Let's go do kill Wraithlin the Widowmaker. Alright, so we've got to kill a few spiders in here as well. This shouldn't be too hard. There's lots of these little spiders to kill like this. I can probably just use my normal grenades to kill these guys even. Fortune Shrine. And some bats. These guys will go down nice and easily as well. You'll notice my grenades do a lot of damage for being a main attack, and that's, as I said, the increased, all of the damage buffs I've got sort of stacked together really nicely, and because they overlap as well, monsters are often getting hit by more than one grenade. So I end up doing really nice effective damage with that grenade just on the main attack, which is pretty surprising. I actually wasn't running a hatred spending attack for a while. I was running something like Rain of Arrows on my right click, but I decided I want a little bit of extra burst, so this helps out a bit. And here's the, we've almost got the 50. We'll get the 50 right here, in fact. Pretty nice. What I'll do is I'll actually pop Vengeance for this one, and use all my burst here. As you can see, just absolutely obliterating everything. I love Vengeance, it's so good. Gotta move out of that Plagued, but Plague Weaver. And there's the kill. And there's the bounty. We'll kill off the rest of these guys so we can teleport. I'm not going to bother picking up those blues for now. Blues are pretty handy as well for the blue crafting material, and obviously you want to pick up a mixture of blues, rares, and whites, but I'm okay for crafting mats at the moment. And I'll get some from my Horadric Caches. So let's kill off this guy so I can actually teleport. Alright, Templar, keep him busy. And we'll go to the Festering Woods. I think we have an event to do in here, in fact. Let's check it out. Yeah, the Bounty of the Internal War, so we can just, it should be somewhere around here. They've changed the spawns up a little bit on some things, so I'm kind of doing these fast bounty runs like this. I'm trying to like relearn all of the zones and like learn the ways things can spawn, so I can do these a bit more fast and efficiently. Eventually, if we go with ladders, I might actually play Demon Hunter and see how competitive I can be on it, just as a bounty hunter spec rather than doing standard sort of farming. See how well I can do with that. At the very least, it gives a lot of crafting mats and things like that to gear up with. So really nice spec if you want to get some gear in Reaper of Souls. But a lot of fun, at the very least. Just killing off this this elite pack here, because it's pretty easy to kill. Goblin, time for vengeance. I will pop my vengeance on goblins to burst these guys down. There we go. Anything good? Oh, we've got some whites and Death's Breath and stuff. That's the new demonic essence, by the way, Death's Breath. So Demon Hunter's definitely harder in Reaper of Souls than it was before. Like, I did have to do a bit of kiting before, and I have to kite a bit on this build now. And I think it will be possible to make pretty tanky Demon Hunter builds, but it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. The removal of Life Leech, we were really heavily relying on Life Leech for our good farming specs before, so it's tough, but I actually kind of really like it. Like, it means the game is more tactical. We really have to concentrate on avoiding damage as much as possible. It's not quite Diablo 3 Vanilla Inferno right at the start like it was before, where you have to avoid all damage with smoke screens all the time. You can actually still take quite a bit of damage, but you have to be smart about it. We are a glass cannon designed for massive amounts of firepower, and she works really well like that. But yeah, you have to play like that as well. You have to play a bit more like you're a glass cannon. But let's check out. We've got the last bounty to do, and then we get our Greater Horadric Cache. We've got a few baggies saved up. Hopefully we'll get a legendary from our bag opening as well, because they do drop legendaries in addition to all other sorts of loot. So pretty exciting stuff. Now I've got to kill 50 guys in here, so I might kill some clusters. Oh, we found the bounty right away this time. Sometimes you'll get him fast. This guy's got to reflect on him, so we're going to take a bit of damage from that. But we should be okay. We should be able to leech through that. There we go. He's gone. That's a nice fast bounty kill. However, we still have to kill 50 mobs in this zone. That shouldn't take too long though. There's just about 10 there. Maybe I should get quite a few here. Oh, there's a nasty looking rare up there. Thunderstorms. Whoa! Yeah, that's a nasty one. I'm not a big fan of the vortexes. When we have Vengeance up, we're immune to CC like that. But otherwise, without Vengeance on cooldown, it's pretty nasty. Use my Vengeance to get the last few kills in this zone. Just need a few more. There we go. These guys should finish it off. Sometimes you get really low mob density and it's hard to actually get your 50 kills. But not too bad in here. Pretty easy. I've only had one zone where I had to like hunt down every last mob to get the full 50. I've heard of other people sometimes having it where they've had to pull mobs from other zones, like where there's no load screen transition to do it. But I haven't run into any of those. I think this is something that they'll be able to adjust over time with the beta. But we'll kill off the rest of these guys so I can actually teleport out of here and go back and claim our rewards. So from now, we've done the final bounty for here, so we can just go straight back to town. However, if we wanted to, we could continue and do all the bounties in all the different zones. You can full clear each one and get all the different ones like that. Act 5 is not, Act 4, sorry, is nice and fun because there's only a few bounties in there to do, and you can get your Greater Horadric Cache in there. But the rewards are scaled back a little bit as a result as well. But there we go, there's that Greater Horadric Cache. I'll go ahead and salvage everything first so we have inventory space, because we're going to get quite a bit of loot. But none of this should be too helpful for me. Boots and shoulders I'm keeping an eye out for, but nothing there that's too good. Okay, let's go and let's find a nice place to do our loot. Here we go. We need room for it. Okay, ready for this? Alright, no legendaries unfortunately, but we did get, as you can see, a lot of pieces of gear and crafting materials and gems and potions and all sorts of stuff here. Reusable parts of the white crafting material that we get for salvaging whites. So lots of loots. Unfortunately, no legendaries. Now the reason I am playing on Torment 1 over the difficulties that I could be clearing much faster to get these is that it actually has 250% increased legendary drop rate. So I feel like that's kind of worth doing. That's that ring has some potential. I could re-roll that armor into something, but I think both my current rings are pretty good. And anything else in here with some potential? Nothing else. I think our current quiver is fantastic. It's really good. But nothing else. It looks like we just got a few nice things. We also got the Rift Keystones, so we can go do some Rift runs if we want. Been getting plenty of these though, mostly doing bounty runs. But it's a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying the new style of Demon Hunter hunting down these bounties, and I'll keep gearing her up and see what I can find out in terms of max potential for how far I can get in Torment and still reliably do bounties. I think I can push it pretty far, but we'll see. I'll have to get some better loot first. Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed the commentary and look at bounty runs and my new Demon Hunter spec. That's it for now. I'm ZiggyD, and thanks for watching.